Hello and welcome to another edition of East of Ethnia. There are some interesting events this week at the United Nations, or it seemed like there were interesting events at the United Nations. Um, when a resolution, this was a resolution that was designed to display respect for the victims of the genocide in Srebrenica, passed at the United Nations. Serbia put up a pretty sustained campaign to try to oppose the passage of this resolution. Recruiting sometimes very aggressively some other states to vote against it. In the end, this campaign was unsuccessful, and the resolution passed. But I want to give you an idea of some of the colorness of this display because I'm going to show you this picture now. This is something you probably thought that this was only a folk expression to describe somebody who uses patriotism for illicit ends. But no, in fact, there is the the president of just a moment of be sure that I'm giving you the right picture here. There is the president of the Republic of Serbia, Alexander Vucic, who is sitting in the seat of Serbia at the General Assembly of the United Nations, and he has actually literally wrapped himself in the flag. Okay. He has not metaphorically wrapped himself in the flag. That is the flag. He has wrapped himself in it. It is around his shoulders. While this was going on, the session was being followed by members of the government in Belgrade. And let's just show you what they were looking like while they were following the session. Yes, there they are, the members of the government and other high-ranking officials. The president of the parliament is there too, and all of them are wrapped in flags. So this is absolutely amazing. I mean, either they came up with the idea themselves, or some media consultant told them that it would be a really good idea to take a folk expression that is used to express ways in which somebody uses the strength of public feeling in order to cover a display of self-interested hypocrisy and become a corporeal demonstration of it. Why did they do this? It's surprising because there is very little in the resolution itself that would explain why this was done. This was a resolution, like many resolutions in the General Assembly at the United Nations, that was principally symbolic and expressive in character. It was to establish a day for remembrance for victims of the genocide in Srebrenica. It did not create any qualifications or assign any blame for the genocide, even though we know who committed it. It did not create any legal obligations of any sort for any state or for any institution of state. I mean, if Serbia were going to be cynical, frankly, the smartest thing for them to do would be to support the resolution. And then, if they're ever accused, as they often are, because they often do this, of disrespecting the victim, they would be able to cynically point to the resolution and say, "Look, we voted in favor of a resolution to respect the victims. Obviously, we respect the victims. So why put up this big show for a resolution that, in practical terms, is really of no consequence for him?" I think the answer to that question is because this resolution and the president and all of these officials wrapping themselves in flags, they actually wrap themselves in flags. Did you look at those creeps? All of the attention was on this campaign during the time that it was happening. So whenever attention is focused on a particular thing, it's a good idea to ask the question, what is happening at the same time? At the same time, here's one thing that was happening. At the children's clinic in Tiršova Street in Belgrade, the children's clinic had reached an agreement with a cable provider, SBB Media, that for 10 years, SBB would donate cable services to the hospital so that people staying in the hospital and the children would be able to watch things on television. After 2 years of that agreement, the board of the children's hospital in Tiršova decided to cancel that agreement. So providing cable television services to the hospital is now going to go out to a tender. Why would they refuse a free service? Something that is very clearly in the interest of the children at the hospital and in the public interest. Well, it's because SBB, the cable provider, is a privately owned cable provider. It's owned by an international company, the United Media Group, which operates a number of independent media services, including the television station N1, which is one of the few television outlets that is not directly controlled by the state. There is This campaign is a part of the campaign to diminish the public presence of SBB, to give more media space and eventually control of the media to SBB's competitor, Telecom, which is owned by the state with a board appointed by the regime, and through which channels not controlled by the regime are not available. So this is part of the campaign to control media space. And it happened while you were looking at these creeps in their flags. The other thing that happened in Bosnia and Herzegovina, in the smaller entity of Bosnia and Herzegovina in Republika Srpska, a couple of years ago, there was a very, very big campaign to try to prevent environmental destruction being carried out through licenses given by states in the region to the Rio Tinto Corporation, which wanted to take environmental sites of great fragility and of great beauty and of value to the countries and mine them for lithium, because lithium is the source for all of these new battery run things, electric cars and so on. It's the next big strategic mineral. A series of public protests put an end to that. There was a petition to the Parliament of Republika Srpska on the part of citizens of this part of Bosnia and Herzegovina to prevent this mining operation from happening and to prevent the destruction that it would bring. The Parliament of Republika Srpska denied that petition. The mining operation for lithium is going to go ahead in northern Bosnia and Herzegovina, and people don't know about it because while it was happening, they were staring at the creeps with their flags. Okay, so this is what is happening at the time when high public officials are putting on a show by wrapping themselves in flags. They're doing a bunch of things that are not being noticed. They're consolidating power over information. They are selling land and environmental goods to international corporations for personal profit to destroy the quality of environment and the natural sphere in the region. They are using institutions for children as and for the health of children as instruments in this campaign. So you look at this flag and everything that the flag is covering. What the flag is covering is the occupation of a state by a self-interested group that is trying to take their personal interest and project it onto fears that are experienced because of control of information by members of the public. It looks pretty bad. It looks worse than a creep in a flag. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you again soon.